threatens eternal night. Heroes from across worlds stand and unite. No other foe or force can match their might. The once great people of this world now hide in fear. All chaos shaken by the power of sword and spear. The black-clad armies of the Dark One now draw near. But in the distance, the sergeant and the bear appear. Great heroes of past the law, no power has seen before. Wings spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation. Great heroes of past the law, no power has seen before. Wings spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation. Legions of Romans stand and let their arrows fly. The roaring of dragons and machines fills the sky. Secret agents and the generals they defy. Swarms of orcs and samurai raise their banners high. In the wake of death, only one man stands alone. The sergeant raises his sword, high silver shone. He condemns the chaos the war not is as sown. He stands longing for the day he may return home. Great heroes of past and law, no power has seen before. Wings spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation. Until the war for the world springs is won, they will fight until they're undone. But a hero will stand alone as one, and the bloodshed is finally done. Great heroes of past the law, no power has seen before. We spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation. Great heroes of past the law, no power has seen before. Wings spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation, 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 to end the age of annihilation.
Welcome to ToV Live with the air conditioning on. It is Valhalla time, and it is time to paint, apparently. Hello everybody, welcome to the ToV live stream. Looking at my side here, right here. Looking at me here. Yes, I got the paint board here, I got the paint brushes. We're going to be ready to do some paint, some conversation tonight if you also choose. Looking for my first comment in the chat there as of yet tonight. But yes, hi, I'm Ryan, aka Tales of Valhalla. If you just happen to drop in here, I do primarily stop motion storytelling from the greatest game of all time, Heroscape. We also do podcasts, do painting sometimes I do skirmish in preparation for whatever tournament I decide to do in the year. And it's interesting because, here, let me just go somewhere. So we're going to do painting in a little bit. Right now, we're actually going to read something that Renegade released today. I just want to read that real quick and have some comment on that. So let me drop this here and go over here to this window, and we're going to read it in a second. Now I just wanted to give a quick nod to today is the first day of ScapeCon. I think this is ScapeCon number 5, and yes, I am not there. And I don't plan to be there, unfortunately. I was planning to be there up until like the first couple months of this year, and then I'm just like, there's actually because of the fact it's earlier, there was just it would have been hard to manage it. So unfortunately, I had to drop from going. But as you can see here, this is Emery 4848 on Twitch, and they're still doing here. Let me just turn the desktop audio on for y'all real quick, and you'll be able to hear this, I think. What you have here is, if I can turn up the volume here.
These Guardians have been sticking around.
We can hear that. So that's 10 points under. So 10 points under is there. Yay! And is talking through these games. I said hello to him in the chat while they're playing. So ScapeCon is active. It's going. I wish I could be there. I do miss everybody not being there. But hopefully next year I'll be there. It's kind of like a bye year for me, since I've been going to ScapeCon for like since last year, like 3 years running. So yeah, it was just a time to take a break. And again, I am going to be going to Gen Con in a little more than a month too. So that was the only one I could possibly do for this year, unfortunately. So, but I miss those guys, and definitely check them out. Check out Emery 4848's Twitch channel if you want to see some live ScapeCon content happening.
That's the thing. Dunedain was very quickly.
And again, nod towards 10 points under. Glad he's there to talk through, be the announcer through these games. It's great that he's there. A shout out to Roguescaper too. I think Roguescaper's there. So I'm basically taking Roguescaper's place tonight and doing the doing the painting, because he usually does painting. All right. So what I'm gonna show you all here is in here. I'm gonna actually have to it's a very low setting there. Okay. And here I'm gonna bring this so we all can see the words. So this was announced at Renegade's Discord today, and I just wanted to talk about this real quick. I've browsed through it, but I want to really read through it. I understand what they're doing with it, but I just want to read through it real quick again. And so to let you all know what's going on, if you're not on Discord, if you're not on Facebook, because Tommy Adams posted this on Facebook, that's why I found out about it. So shout out to Tommy for that. And just going to read through this. So this was given. So this is the event organizer, Courtney. That's her name. I think I mentioned her a couple of weeks ago on I think it was the Army Theory Crafting, and I forgot her name. So that is Courtney, events and OP. So she manages the event. And it says, "Greetings, Heroscape fans. Today's rules update is a big one, based on a thorough review of the rules and army cards from throughout the history of Heroscape in consultation with knowledgeable members of the Heroscape community. First and foremost, this update is aimed at improving the clarity and consistency of the rules and army cards. To that end, a large number of army cards have received errata aimed at modernizing and standardizing the technical rules language of the game. Some of the changes to the rules and army cards are also aimed at reestablishing long-standing community precedents, such as when it is permissible to flip a double-spaced figure in which special attacks require line of sight to affected figures." It's very interesting. Over the course of our review, we also uncovered a host of ambiguities, omissions, and contradictions in the overall timing structure of a round of Heroscape. In order to create a solid foundation for both tournament play and future game development, we have implemented a much more detailed round timing structure. It's interesting. Finally, in order to address some of the gameplay issues caused by the size and dimensions of Age of Annihilation sculpts, okay, I get that, such as Zenithrax the Vineweaver and Queen Maladrix the Conqueror, my queen, we have implemented a more relaxed rule set regarding fitting Heroscape figures onto the battlefield. Well, that's kind of nice. Hey, Tony 214, you haven't really missed much. I'm just getting started tonight. I'm just reading what Renegade announced today, and I'm actually reading through it thoroughly the first time myself, so reading through it together. But Tony 214, first person in the chat. Welcome. Figures no longer need to check for fitting as they move, instead checking for fitment only at the figure's final position. Okay. In addition, players can no longer use their own figures to intentionally block an opponent's figures from being placed. Okay. Instead, players must work together to shift their figures around in order to make space for fitment. Okay. I understand not to be a douche, you know, when you're playing against somebody. You don't want to be as fair as possible to that person. But that's interesting. Of course, there will still be plenty of spaces that a colossal creature like Queen Maladrix cannot fit, but we hope this will help. These changes will go into effect for competitive play on July 1st. Special thanks to Mike Schober, Mike, of course, Adam Tarr, Doc, Ken Williams, Matthias Maccabees, of course, Don Zimmerman, Sightale, for all their assistance. So, well, we know two of these guys. We know Mike. We know it was OEAO, and Matthias Maccabees, Ken, because they've been on podcasts before with us. They've been on the stream with us before. So that's I'm actually, like what's been said here, I'm kind of more confident that they were involved in this process. So that's good. Now, I do have a couple of questions and observations before we move on to painting tonight. Hello, Mailman Studios, second in the chat. Let me just reread through this. Okay, today's rules update is a big one. You sent the rules. So does that mean they're gonna like do like a new rule book or like a rewritten rule book? So that's the first question I have. First and foremost, this update is aimed at improving the clarity and consistency of rules. Army cards. Okay, and to that end, a large number of army cards have received errata aimed at modernizing, standardizing technical rule language of the game. Okay. It's aimed at reestablishing long-standing community precedents, such as when it's permissible to flip a double space figure, and which special attacks require line of sight of effective figures. Okay. Or require line of sight to effective figures. Well, I think it depends on the special attack as well. I mean, when it comes to wording on the card, is very important. Over the course of our review, I mean, I'm glad they're working with, you know, some of the leaders in the community to hash through these things, because it does need to be as smooth as it could possibly be as far as the rules are concerned. Of course, we also cover a host of ambiguities, omissions, and contradictions, overall timing structure of a round of Heroscape, in order to create a solid foundation for both tournament play and future game development. We have implemented a much more detailed round timing structure. Okay. So I'd like to know what that round timing structure is. New documents on the Renegade website says premium scape. Okay, well, I'll have to read that some other time. I'm not going to get into it tonight. Maybe I'll talk about it on another stream. Finally, in order to address some of the gameplay issues caused by the size and dimensions of Age of Annihilation sculpts, such as Zenithrax, okay, Queen Maladrix, I'd like to implement a more relaxed rule set regarding fitting Heroscape figures in the battlefield. Figures no longer need to check for fitting as they move. Oh, that's kind of cool. Instead, checking for fitment only at the figure's final position. So does that mean, like, say, I mean, there still needs to be enough spaces, like if it's only just like space wide, but it's down away, does that mean that her legs can go through like a squeezy space as long as there's an open end to it? If you're talking about going through like a ravine or something, a very narrow ravine, she can go through it as long as you end being able to fit. I think that's what that possibly means. But this at the end of here, in addition, players can no longer use their own figures to intentionally block an opponent's figure from being in place. Okay. Instead, players must work together to shift their figures around in order to make space for fitment. Well, I mean, if it means moving the figures off there, I mean, how often does that happen that someone intentionally blocks like an opponent's figure? I guess there must be some of it, otherwise it wouldn't be mentioned. But at the same time, I mean, if it like still covers a place, but you can still fit your miniature on the tile space, then I don't know why that wouldn't be a problem. I mean, maybe there was arguments like, oh, you can't put that one there if it's, you know, elbowing my miniature. Well, apparently now you can. Of course, there'll be still plenty of spaces that colossal creature like Queen Bellatrix cannot fit, but we hope this will help. Yeah, you still have to, you know, keep an eye out for it and just be fair with it. Okay, and this is probably where it is. Like I said, I'm not going to open it tonight, but I just thought that was interesting to kind of read. Okay, so they've revamped the rulebook. I'll have to read through it. I'll have to see what that is about, but at another time. Let me bring up the let me bring this up here. Gotta get this. Where are you? Let me turn this thing on. There we are. Okay. How about we just go back to painting, shall we? Yeah, hold on. All right, hold on, guys. I get this off, because I don't need to wear those headphones while I'm painting. And we're just going to do this for a little bit, because I still have to prepare the Isonex for Gen Con, or as best as I can here. And yes, forgive me, the air conditioning is on because it's as hot as a boiling crustacean out there. And I also have, I forgot to look this up, but I also have this. This is going to be a paint for the Omegacron. I need to just paint the white and all that stuff on it. So we'll see what we can do tonight. But I'll probably start working on the Isonex, because I still got to get a lot of red, especially on the Hellforge. So I think I'll start with that. Oh, and one thing I want to show you guys too. Here, take a look at this. I think I showed this on my Discord, but there's what a wellspring tile should look like. You ask, how did I do it? How did I do it? Well, tell me why. Why? It's just a little bit glittery. So I put glitter on the back and put some finish on the back of it too. I did what Slugscape recommended. I got this from Walmart, and that's called Glitter Life. What is it? A glitter acrylic paint. Glitter acrylic paint. If you go to Slugscape's video talking about this, you can see the information for it there. But I just basically painted this in the back of all of my Wellspring water tiles, and now they look nice and glittery. Kind of like it. Kind of like it. All right. So here we go. I'm gonna put this on and start with painting. So how is everybody doing today? I hope staying as cool as possible. I know I've been trying. So what is that? That's a 4. Paintbrushes that I've used over time. I don't want to use that. No, that's way too. That's way too tight. I think I'll just use this one. Alright, a little bit. Probably use a whiter brush right now for the moment. Because there's still a lot of red to put in here. Okay. This is almost gone, this color. This is called Craft line of paints, red, or called Rapture, if you're wondering. Just gonna pour some there. I'm running out of it. I do have another bottle of it, so that is fine. Yeah, this one. I guess I gotta get that bottle out because I'm kind of out of that. I think I'll just put it upside down to see if I can get any more out of it later. I gotta find my other. Oh, I have a mess of what I have here. Here, oh, there it is. There it is. Got it over here. All right. Okay, and I don't have my typical ToV shirt tonight. This shirt's just a lot lighter. This is actually Roguescapers, Grimnassic Park. You can see it. See? Ta-da! So wearing that tonight. Okay, so here's another. See, and this is like the current Craft bottles, which you can't see the color in them, but at least I know this one. Color this one holds. It's hard to get off to. Okay. And with this red paint, we're putting a little bit of, mixing a little bit of like a glittery type gold called Halcyon or Halcyon or something like that. Let's call it Craft line of paints. I'm just going to put that in, mix some of that in. Doesn't have to be a lot, just a little bit. Hold on. Mixed up more. Yeah, I'm running out of that too. Or it's stuck up. Sometimes this gets stuck, and then I have to bring out the sewing needle and poke it so we can unplug the clog. Check this. There. See? Sometimes it's stubborn. Stubborn. Alright, but yes, air conditioning is. Oh, there you go. Okay. It's probably a little too much, but it's okay. Put that upside down too. Probably running out of that a lot as well. Actually, I'll use. What's the big brush I have? I'm gonna mix. It's gonna be a little bit more golden than usual, but oh well. That's fine. So I don't know how much of this y'all are gonna see, but so I'm no Roguescaper when it comes to these painting videos. But if you all want to talk about something, go ahead and pop something in the chat, and we can talk about it. And talk about the fact that I'm not at ScapeCon. It makes me very, very sad. But oh well. What can you do? Now, with my Isonex, I think I probably said this before, but with my Isonex, I plan to do like kind of a different variation than what Renegade have. I want to make these guys kind of like almost like they're starting to kind of rust or corrode, you know, they're metal. Because if they've been out in space, you know, there could be some corrosion. So that's my thoughts, and I just like a golden red a lot better. And I'm pretty sure this Sunday, since hopefully it'll be a little bit cooler and not flaming hot warm, we will start doing some skirmishes for Gen Con. So I have some armies thought out. Of course, we already talked about this, so I'll probably use this Isonek army, even if they're not fully painted, up against like one or two other squads I want to give a try, or squads, armies I want to give a try for, because we are getting close. We are getting close, people. Hang on 1 second. I want to check something out real quick. Let's see what the box shows for. Okay, yep, that's what I want. So this has got to be painted. It's amazing how much actually has to be painted when you start painting something. It makes me glad that Renegade hasn't been idle with like at least the part of the competitive community when it comes to getting like all the competitive events organized. Because I know it's like I've talked around. I mean, some people are excited for, you know, like especially like these last 2 waves being released, but some have their concerns, and that's understandable. The thing is trying to get the crevices and all these. It's crazy. But this is my thought process for painting it. Like, I don't need to have everything so finessed if ultimately I am just going to make everything kind of rusty anyway, so I can allow myself to not be as like expert with the painting, which I'm not. I'm nowhere near an expert. If you're looking for an expert painter, find like a roadscaper or something, or someone, because I'm definitely not that. I'm definitely a beginner painter, but I find it still soothes. What's this? Okay, Tony says, imagine those bugs painted like the Morrow. Blood, bone, metal hides, and glowing eyes. You're talking about the Isonex? Or not the Isonex, I mean the Scordire? Actually, Tony214, that's actually an interesting thought, because I mean, the one thing I am good at painting, which I've done in other paint streams before, is Morrow. Like, I've painted the Morrow Stingers. I mean, it's not exactly the right skin color, but I like the skin color that I've used, and it does the trick, and it makes them very Morrow-like. So I almost feel like doing it in that way, actually. I mean, I have like the Queen already, as you know, but if I were ever get an extra like unpainted set, just to paint them that way would be very, very interesting. because I already have plenty of paint that would that could do it in that way. My goodness, I'm using a lot of red. I plan to paint what's the other isonet coming out? I'm sorry, I forgot his name. Big guy with big twin guns. I'm gonna need like just my other acrylic red paint to use for that one because like I'm kind of running out. But that's a really good thought, Tony. Actually, I might apply that. I might apply that to my paints because I think that would look kind of cool, actually. And then, like, I could do something on my animation to where if I do another like Maro army, I could just have like the score dier painted, you know, as Maro, just somewhere in the background to where they're kind of fuzzy, you can't see them, but they're still there in the background, you know, when I'm animating, just as like a nod to the Age of Annihilation stuff. That would be kind of fun. Okay, well the good news is I'm using up like all this paint, so that's good. And more of the Hellforge is being covered. And the bad news is, well, I don't think there is any bad news. Here I'm going to, oh wait, so there's more paint on this side. Oh, I can say one thing too. Today, I was actually, yes, I was not at ScapeCon, but I was playing Heroscape with my son earlier today. I mean, he's 7, and he doesn't really like understand too much the roles, especially the advanced roles. So we were just doing basic, and we just had like some of like the big dragons, the Maro snake, because he's got like a 3D printed and painted Maro snake that Roguescaper painted for him. Thank you, Roguescaper. And so we had that, and just had like a couple of like heroes, and so we just did a tournament. It was just like a one-on-one type thing. Yeah, it's more just, you know, dice-scape, you know, it's just like dice rolls, but it's just for him to learn the ins and outs of the game, and it was fun. I just have, okay, which one do you want to play, you know, this round? And I played the other one. And the interesting thing is, throughout those rounds, again, this is just, you know, practically rolling dice. There wasn't much skill involved. He won. I'd say, like, we played like a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10... probably about 11 just short games, because when it's one-on-one, it tends to go for like a round, or if it's 2, you know, it's short. And it was a short like field too. But all the same, he won about like if we were playing like 11 times, he won probably 9 of those 11 times. He was on fire with them dice rolls, and there was one time he did like a since it was like dragons and other giant type creatures, it was a lot of dice rolls. There was one time he rolled like 7 shields when he needed to defend, and like 7 skulls when he needed to attack. That's why he was on fire for a little bit rolling them. And of course he would get excited when that happened. He'd like, yay, I won. And then he wanted to be like, he's like, I want to play tiny. He wanted to play the smaller units, and he wanted to get the airborne elite out. So I'm like, okay, you can have the airborne elite, and you just played the basic side, so you don't have to worry about the drop. But I used the Mara Warriors. I'm like, okay, Jose, I'm going to play these. I used the Mara Warriors, and unfortunately, it was all, again, it was just those 2 squads against each other, and unfortunately, he got like his first chance to attack my Maro, and he basically wasn't able to get any of my Maro. And I was trying to tell him, you know, use height advantage so you can get an extra die roll, but he's like, ah, no, no. I'm like, okay. And then what did I do? What did I do? Well, I positioned my Maro warriors in range with all of them, got height bonus, and there was and of course, you know, Airborne Elite and basic side only have 2 defense. And I rolled 4 times. I rolled at least 2 skulls, and that was like it turned out to be like, you know, 4 attack dice rolled, and I got at the very least 2 skulls, and I was just rolling hot with my attacks to where, and he had really no luck with his defense, that I wiped out the Airborne Elite like the first time shooting at him. And then he was kind of mad that I went like, oh, Jose, this is why Airborne Elite are usually not played competitively. I mean, the fun, they're okay to play, to have fun with them, but I'm like, this is how it happens sometimes. So yeah, I kind of went to expert mode on him, but he wasn't too disappointed. Yeah, you gotta learn some things sometimes. You gotta learn some things. Okay. Let me think about this. What else I got? Let's see here. Okay, all of these have the red. Thinking what to do. Maybe I do a little bit of skin for them. And so for that, I need some white and brown. So let's see what colors I need for that. Okay. Okay, that's Earth and Honor. Hold on a second. What are these? Oh God, okay, well, there's here. So actually I'm going to make the skin kind of grayish, so I'm going to use probably Vanguard here too. A little bit. Where's Earth? Are you all the way, nearly all the way in the back? Actually, instead of that one, I'll use this one. I'll use negative because it's so negative. There. Okay. Having some thoughts here, guys. I'm having some thoughts. Okay, so Isonex skin tone. Let's see what we can create for that, eh? So what I'm thinking, we'll just use a little bit right now. Some white. Some earth, so some brown. You don't need too much of this, I don't think. So okay, for Cultcraft, it's earth, and then they're white, which is called honor, and then I'm gonna put like this is like kind of like a gray too, just a little bit of gray to make their skin kind of dead-like, which is called negative. We'll see how this. I want to see how this mixes because I don't know how this don't know what it's gonna do. What type of skin? No, 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 it's fine. Okay, I like it. I like it. I like it here. Let's see. It shows the. Where is it? See, I like that type of tone. It's not bad. Hey Justin, how's the painting coming? Work late tonight? Oh, we're still going. Just now I'm trying to get like skin tones for some of these. Some of the way. Let's see if does Hellforge have? Oh yeah, there's a little bit of skin right there. Okay, on the arms. Okay, it's just the arms there. Okay, so here we're gonna have to go very, very light with this. Too much paint on it. So it feels to me kind of still kind of maybe a little too white, but it's fine. It's actually, it looks kind of like an unnatural pasting, so I think we're okay. There's so much I have to do with these guys, so if you think I'm complete with this, I'm no way complete with this. There's still a lot I have to do, but I'm just seeing how the type of skin that they have works with this. And yes, my air conditioning is cranking because it doesn't do that good of a job to really cool off our house when it's really hot. It's like above like 85, 90, it struggles a lot to keep the house cool, so it just is on the whole time. So again, what are y'all guys thinking about this Sunday we do some skirmishes? Because not only do I need to paint these Isonex for Gen Con, I also need to I also need to practice skirmishes with them as well. All right, yeah, I'm gonna look at, okay, put the all right, let me work on the skin tone of these guys. Let's see what these look like again. Okay, so okay, and their chests. Okay, this is kind of all over for them. Okay, let me see for that. All right. So the Wraith Riders actually have quite a bit that they need to cover. I have no idea how perfect I'm going to get these guys either. Probably not as perfect as someone like Heroscape, but I'm doing what I can do. isn't not looking too bad. And oh hey, Derek's hobbies, interest in life moments. Hey Ryan, good to see you, Derek. You know, I was just talking about you last Sunday actually, saying how much I missed you appearing in the chat. And look, here you are today. Good to see you too. Glad you could join for a minute. And Justin's saying I have Adelburn and Hellforge primed and the Isonek army expansion and 2 Dragoons in my pile of shame. Well, hey, you know, if you do it, that's fine. I mean, you just got to do what you can do, you know. Don't compare yourself to Heroscape or compare yourself to your previous painted figures. This is true, but, you know, the best figures I've painted were like the Morrow Dividers. Like, I can do Morrow pretty darn well. Because really, it's just like the skin tone and then a wash, and they're excellent. Anything else just gets pretty complicated. I mean, skin tones I can do fairly well, which I'm happy about. But yes, no, when I talk about Roguescaper, it's in much love and respect. You know, it's not like a jealous comparison or anything. And I'll show you guys what this looks like in a second. As soon as I get... Sometimes you need to reach underneath things to get things. It's kind of the reason why I'm doing the skin tone stuff right now, because if I like get it on something else, then I can just paint that something else as well. Yeah, here, take a look. Take a look. See? Here, hold on a second. Let's see if we can show that. There, hold on. No, I'm sorry, I'm throwing this everywhere. Okay, see how that skin's coming out? It's not bad. Not a bad skin tone. Derek saying I've been closing at work a lot. Happy to be here. Oh yeah, no problem. We gotta work, we gotta work. I get it. Not Premium Scape. I'm jealous. I can't paint like Roguescaper. A shame. Well, you know, it's got to be like is that? Yeah, I don't know. Is that part of their back like something I need to paint as well? You know, I imagine so. I'm just gonna say yes. Like, because there's a part of their back that I think is probably skin tone as well, even though you can't see it in the box. I'm just gonna say it is. I'm just gonna say that's part of them too. I'm just gonna say that's skin. I painted something that probably wasn't skin, but I'm just gonna say it's skin. And that might not be skin either, but you know what? Oh well. I'm gonna say it is. Let's see here. See, look at that. That's not bad. It's a start at least, you know. Yeah, there's a little bit under these crevices. You gotta make sure you get the armpits too, you know. Come on. Friends, brothers, countrymen, lend me your armpits. Okay, I think that's good to start right now. Move on to the next one. And see what else in the chat. Where did I get my mini holder? That's something I haven't picked up yet, says Justin. You mean this one? You mean this one or this one? This one I don't really use as much anymore because that's an expensive one. This right here is PVC pipe that I chopped off with a PVC pipe cutter and some sticky tack because I saw a Roguescaper using this, so you know, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. I thought that's kind of a good idea. I'm gonna use that idea myself. And I did. Just as Renegade has paint guides for every character on the website, might be easier than trying to match from the box. Yes, if I wanted to have them be like Renegade accurate, I agree. But I'm just using the box as reference, just where because I'm not using the exact stain. I don't want the exact skin tone that they have or where the gray is. I'm just making sure it's going where the skin is most likely supposed to be. So that's the only reason I have it for reference, not for color reference. But yes, absolutely. Renegade's very helpful in that way for sure. It's amazing actually what Renegade does have on their website. I think a lot of people don't even stop to look, but they have a lot of info, which is great. I can't believe where we've come from like 10, 15 years ago. Like, did I imagine myself 10, 15 years ago painting on a stream and talking to you all? Nope. I did not. I was just thinking, I just need to get this animation done and out until I potentially die. That was my thought. Derek is actually asking a good question here. Do I prefer audiobooks or music when I paint off stream? Well, okay, this is a multifaceted answer actually. For painting stuff, I actually like listening to podcasts. Or like YouTube videos that I'm like on like YouTube videos and slash, you know, and some of them, those YouTube videos are podcasts. A lot of YouTube videos are some of your guys' channels that I try to listen to. That's what I tend to listen to when I'm painting, when I'm not streaming. And I've got like 500 plus YouTube videos that just says, you think Ryan has time to paint off stream? This is another multifaceted answer. Answer is not really too much, but when I do paint off stream, I am usually listening to YouTube videos and stuff. But when I say like I'm building terrain for like for animating, I, you know, and I have like, and sometimes it takes me days to build like an animating terrain like setup. Then I'm usually listening to music, and if and the music I listen to is usually like Two Steps from Hell, that type of classical type movie type music. I like listening to that usually, or you know, other just various bands or whatever. And Derek saying, 10 years ago, all I was thinking about was getting ready to marry my beautiful lady. 10 years next month. Well, Derek, congratulations to you. I know for me and my wife, it'll be 16 years this October. And so for us, we met, oh my goodness. We met, so 17 years, I met my wife 17 years ago. And then, like, after I met, it was like a year and a few days after I met her, then we got married. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Derek says, you want boring YouTube videos to paint to play low engagement videos. Yeah, well, and I do. Like I said, I have a playlist of videos that's like are so backlogged, but I try to catch up with them as often as I can because I like seeing what all you guys are doing. But the thing is, there's so many more Heroscape content creators out there that like I hardly have time to listen to all y'all, but I try to make the time. And PremiumScape says, I lost mine 26 years in September of cancer. PremiumScape, like, is that 26 years ago or 26 years last year? Either way, you have my condolences, sir. I'm very sorry about that. 26 years of marriage. Wow. Well, I know, and I'm sure you wish you could have more. But I know it's tough. So then it was last September then. My goodness, that's really soon, man. I'm sorry. I'm sure every day is like hard. Yeah, I lost her this September. Yeah. I'm sure every day is very, very hard. I mean, good for you for keeping up with your channel. Look, and I think this is Shane that I'm talking to via PremiumScape. Speaking from someone who was on the opposite side of that, for like 15 years of our marriage, my wife has been afraid of losing me because, I mean, I've had Crohn's disease since like 11 years old, and we have had some really rough years to where it we didn't know what the outcome was going to be, and thank God I'm still here. But I mean, I've got like ostomy. I have like a lot of my intestines taken out of me. I am not nowhere near what I was, and I could have possibly lost everything. It's tough though when you do lose, but and I'm sure that your wife was a fighter. So that counts for something. Just as I listened to Dog and Day's tournament recap last time I painted. Yeah, I already listened to that stuff. I mean, I was behind in Dog and Day's stuff, but I think I'm caught up now. Oh, and Hexal is there in the chat. It says, sorry to hear that, Premiumscape. Yeah, that's when you're dealing with illness, and I know cancer is a lot tougher than Crohn's, although Crohn's has its own terrible difficulties because your intestines are basically just decaying from the inside for like serious Crohn's problems, and that was me. It's just horrendous. Because I know for me, I felt terrible putting my wife through, you know, the pain of just going through all this worry and frustration and stuff. But Premiumscape, I thank you for being here though, and don't think you haven't lost your purpose. Because you still have people who support you, and in a lot of ways I see a lot of people within the Heroscape community like family. So you're like family here, and don't forget that. I was actually going to ask you, are y'all from West Virginia? Because I think Chris was saying something about West Virginia in one of your last videos. Is that where y'all hail from? Let's see here. Yeah, Premiumscape. Heroscape gives me something to keep my mind off things. Well, that's good. That's good. I totally get that. It's a good muse. Premiumscape. Yes, from West Virginia. Yeah, West Virginia has a bit of a warm place in my heart because I have a little bit of association with it. I don't know if you're familiar with McDowell County, Norfolk, West Virginia. It was in that little town, which is one of like in communities in the United States. It's one of like third. I think at the time it was like 20 plus years ago, but at that time it was like third poorest counties in the entire country. I went on a few mission trips there via an organization called Mustard Seas and Mountains, and going on those trips, like especially the first one, changed my life. It literally changed my life. So there's a special place in my heart for West Virginia. It really is. Derek says, I love West Virginia. I drive through it when going to Pennsylvania. I was sad to hear about the flooding in around Wheeling. Yeah, beautiful state. Yeah, it is. There was actually, and this is interesting, early 2000s in McDowell County, Norfolk, they actually had a terrible flood happened. I think it was like 2000 or 2001, or maybe 2002, to where it took apart homes, and that was like our first or second year going to Norfolk, and it's like Norfolk and Dow County is like southern part of West Virginia, and I mean they rely heavily on like coal mining work there, but there was a lot of mudslides, and there was a lot of flooding, a lot of heavy rain. And so we basically went there to like get the mold out of homes, and in some places, and that was like our second or third year going. Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River, yeah. Oh, Blue Ridge Mountains, yeah. All right, that's a song, ain't it? I know it's a song. It sounds familiar to me, Justin. Who is that? That's John Denver. What a national treasure that guy was. But yeah, West Virginia's got some awesome scenery. And just stuck up there in the Appalachians, you know, it's like it's very beautiful. Well, I think the skin tone on this feller is almost done here in a second. Can see. Should I put skin there? Yeah, I probably should. I'm gonna need more paint. Time is it? I haven't even looked at the time. Okay, how long have I been doing this? Okay, a little over an hour, but you know what? I'm kind of on a roll with this painting. I think I'm gonna go a little bit more. Okay. Just make that part of the neck. I don't know. Excuse me. I'm trying I'm trying very hard to give it Heroscape. West Virginia, okay, not many people around here that know about it. Sure. Heck, when I went to West Virginia on mission trips, Heroscape wasn't even out yet. It was still a few years. It was probably being developed, but it wasn't out. It's just crazy how long ago that was. But you know, one thing I like about West Virginia too is like bluegrass music. Derek says, "Keep at it; it'll spread." The game is still niche, but it is growing. Yep. And you're watching the channel, which is a niche within the niche. Okay, I think that's a good start. Again, here we are. That's not bad. Tell me that's not bad, guys. Tell me that's not bad. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. I still got one more to go. I need to put some more paint on here for these guys. Right. Okay, so that was a good paint mix, so we're going to do some more of that again, but I think I'm going to need again. I think some of these paints are getting stopped up, some of these bottles. I'm probably not mixing them well enough either, or shaking them well enough. Yeah, Heroscape, keep at it. Keep at it, sir. Okay, wait. It's just a little bit of brown. Okay, first I'm gonna pour the white. So I need more white than anything. Yeah. Oh, I hear my cats doing something. Okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Those cats are fighting. Give me one moment. Give me one moment. I'll be right back. Hold the phone. Okay, y'all. Here, give me one moment. Just give me a couple minutes of a break, and I'll be right back. I'll just play. Let's see here. I'll play the beginning of season 2, and then just take me a few minutes, and then I'll be right back. And Heroscape says the only store on the Renegade site is the one I told about it, and we're having a store championship this Sunday. Well, I hope it's a good one for you. Hope it's a good one. Alright, so guys, just give me a moment. I'm going to just turn off my microphone and I will be right back. Might not be many players show up, but we're still proud of it. You know, Premium Escape, there might be a time in the future if you keep on going and doing this for a few years. Where I'm currently living, I'm not too far from West Virginia. I'm not. I'm like South Central Kentucky. So it might be worth traveling to sometime down the road. I like to go around and do a circuit, just see as many like store championships as I can, but it still might be a few years. My son's young. I still have, you know, other personal things to do, but it is in my mind to do. But okay, I'll be right back, guys. Just give me a few minutes, all right? Be right back.
It all began many years ago.
Men, we're under attack. It's time to defend the castle.
Yes, sir. Leading the way, sir.
I don't want to fight. I want me tea. Is it tea time? Oh, look! There's the dragon!
Crush my enemies.
Look lively, gentlemen. Watch your step. There's your fight and tea.
We were in the middle of pure war. All our thoughts and goals were for the findings of the well springs and the destruction of our enemies.
Okay, would you look at that? Look at that season 2, bro. No, it's a cute little season 2. Oh, okay, I gotta turn it off. Alright. Alright, I'm back. I'm back. Here, let's take a drink. Okay. Alright. Let's get some more of this paint. It's skin tone paint. Now, if y'all, like, I think actually developing your own skin tone when you're painting miniatures is actually a good place to start. And I find that skin tone is like a good, and you can do varying degrees of it too, but it's mostly like it's white, and you can eventually get like for like some of the 3D printed stuff for skin tone. I just have like an acrylic white, just a plain acrylic white, nothing fancy, and an acrylic brown. And that's what I use for, like, you know, 3D printed stuff, you know, but like some of the stuff like the ice snack, this stuff, I use the Cult Craft line of paints, which are still kind of acrylic, but they're just, you know, a bit more professional looking. And so you mix your white, but for like all the white that you mix, you only put like maybe half brown, depending on how light you want the skin to be. If you want it darker, then you add a little bit more brown, but not as much as the white in volume. And for this case here, I'm just there's my ratio. It's actually probably a little bit more than probably I want. Probably want a little bit more white in it to make it a little bit lighter. There. And then for just to make the skin tone just a little undeadish and grayish, just gonna add a little bit of the gray here, a bit of the negative. I've already shown this, so just a little bit, probably like half of which of what I put the brown, and then here I'll show it again. And so see, there is your ratios. It looks like a lot of brown, but it's actually not as much as the white. The white's like, there's white underneath the brown and the gray. So, and then you just mix it up, and then you just figure out, you know, what works best. And as soon as you start understanding, okay, so this is how skin tone works, then it becomes a lot easier to figure out how to mix other colors to get what you kind of need for everything else. But I think skin tone is very, very important to use and to mix, and it probably actually had a little too much paint there for stuff, but that's okay. That's okay. Here, I might use another brush here. Let me try. Okay, I'm gonna use this one. It's a little bit bigger, but it's fine. Okay, let's mix it up. Okay, and Derek's saying, I wish that was a tray of deviled eggs being displayed to me. You know, I'm actually trying to like gain weight, like more than like 120 pounds that I currently weigh, and I'm eating a lot of eggs, and there's actually like there's a farm next to me that sells eggs for like, you know, $5 for a dozen, which isn't bad. It's you know fresh hen eggs. It's one great being about rural farm country here in Kentucky, get that type of opportunity. And so I try to eat like when I have them, because I tend to eat them quite a bit, but usually per day like 4 to 6 eggs a day. Primsky, I don't have to use any water. Yeah, you're right. I just don't want like the paint to dry fully on the brushes. That's the only reason why I'm kind of doing it. But you're absolutely right. I don't usually have to use water for this. I just have it when eventually I need to clean them and then, you know, do another color on it. So that's my reasoning for that. So okay, skin tone. Skin tone for this Isonek. There we go. I put this in. Oh no, not this one, not this one. Again, just a little bit of reference. Okay. I just need to see what kind of the skin is here. I don't even know if I'm gonna get to a Megacron tonight. I'm not sure, but what I might do, since these since these painting streams are actually kind of popular, I might do more of them often. So, because you all seem to kind of like it, so that's fine. So what we might be doing the next month or so is like on and off, like paint streams and then skirmish streams, so that way I can prepare for Gen Con with not just the gameplay but also painting the miniatures I need to actually play with at Gen Con. Hello Lauren, how are you? Lauren says, do I use Zenithal Prime? If so, what color and what do you do for Maladrex's base prime color? I'm thinking of slightly darkened gray. That will probably work. When it comes to primer I use, I just have black primer. I'm very new to this when it comes to the painting thing. So I'm not even sure what Zenithal Prime is, actually, to be perfectly honest, but what I use for primer all my stuff is this here. Hold a second. Vallejo, I just get off like Amazon or a hobby store, and it's just black, black primer. I know there's other type of color primers. I'm a cheap bastard. I just don't want to spend any more than I have to for things. But when it comes to this, like for Omnicron here, which is, since your Omnicron is going to be mostly like a white and blue, but mostly white type of paint job, I did prime it black, but Roguescaper told me that it's not a good idea to prime it black, because when you're trying to put white over a black primer, the black will kind of show through, so he told me to cover it in gray and then just go from there. So that's why it's gray at the moment. So if you don't have a light primer, that's one thing you can do to fix those type of mess ups, I guess. So I'm not a painter. I just play one on TV. That's how I say it. So Lauren says, Zenithal priming is primed in black. Hit it at an angle with gray primer, and then blast it straight down from above white primer. I like how that's written. It helps create natural shading as you paint. You see, that's way more advanced than I just put paint on a paintbrush, and I just hope for the best. You know, that's what I think. That's fair. Me too. Zenithal priming is using an airbrush to fill a coated base coat. Okay, I see. And do a layer shade spray the next day from the top or from the angle where the light source would be. That's actually, I don't know. I need to reread that when I'm done at the stream, Lauren, and really like think, okay, that I need to think about that. That's actually something to think about, and think, how do I apply that in the future, because that's actually good ideas. I think the black into white prime can make it look really dramatic. It seems like a standard in the Warhammer community. You're very right. Those Warhammer painters are like top tier and like next level. But I want Mal to be a bit brighter. Okay. Or Derek says, or as Lauren says, other colors usually start with darker colors and end in your bright. Right. I also have the same primer blend. Okay. Just as I painted 4 Heroscape figures using Army Painter brush on primer. It works, okay. And Lauren says, I'm going to be using acrylic paint markers as soon as it stops raining enough for me to prime. Might be a little jank, but I don't want to prep paints executive to fine. Oh, you're fine, you're fine. I'm sure it'll work out fine. And I tell you what, you guys, again, or not again, but just so you all know, if you go to the description below on this YouTube stream video, I do have a link for Tales of Valhalla Discord. If you want to show pictures of your guys' paint, we don't judge, of your painting miniatures. I do have on our on Tales of Valhalla Discord server a place where you can put your paint pictures on. If you want to check that out, you're welcome to, so I can actually see what you guys are doing. I don't mind that. I don't mind it at all. But yeah, no, thank you for your comments, Lauren. Let's see here. Derek says, in addition to Heroscape, I highly recommend you check out Storo's painting. I learned so much mimicking his tutorial videos, and he has shaped a lot of how I paint. Okay, cool. Heroscape, I started using speed paints of them. Yeah, speed painting. Well, I feel like anything I do is speed painting because I just don't have the time. What else? Lauren says, at server limit. Okay, well, I get that. Let's see here. Lauren says, Justin, I was thinking about that. I'm just worried it globbed up. I think Xanathol seems super cool too. I gotta like now look at everything, look up everything you guys are talking about, because I am like a 42-year-old man who's clueless about usually everything, so. Okay, I'm trying to think. Okay, does this one have... I don't know if there's skin in the back. What? How am I gonna do what I can with this? See, not really. What if there's bits of skin on the back, you know? What about his head? Can't tell. Can't tell, can't tell, can't tell. But it looks like it's on his shoulder, so I'm just gonna say it is. Nope. And of course I got some backbone. And again, gotta get them armpits. Gotta get them armpits. Okay. This vid goes really in depth into Xanathol Prime, and even color theory too is really interesting. Okay, cool. Another one I need to put on my watch list then. Yeah, I am getting... Okay, I'm getting some skin tone on his chin, which I shouldn't. Trying my darndest not to get paint anywhere where I shouldn't, but that is difficult. I think the whole time I've been streaming, that air conditioning just keeps on cranking. Of course, I did set it kind of like low to crank, so I am trying to cool this house down now that the temperature's decided not to be the temperature of the sun anymore. And Lauren, I mean, the invitation to the server is just an invitation. It's not a requirement or anything. I mean, if you want to, it's not a big deal. But great to have you if you feel so inclined. Because, like I said, I like looking at other people's paints and what they've done. But no pressure. No pressure. I really like how that skin tone comes along in these guys, though. Although I still think it's too, like, I was trying to make it dead-like, but it's still kind of lifelike. Boom, boom, boom. Still, it's not bad. I don't know. I think I just need to make it a bit more gray, or maybe with the wash, it'll come out a bit more dead-looking. I mean, it definitely looks very, very extremely pale, so that's good. Maybe with a good wash, it'll do what it needs to do with that. But there's another one, I think, at least for now. Okay. Let me look at this guy. I know he's got some arms, not all arms, but some arms. Lauren says, I've been getting insanely into this game very rapidly, so it's nice to have another space to talk about. Oh, absolutely, yeah. I try to stream every Sunday and every Wednesday, so it's fine. I'm glad you found a nice hobby to get into. And I do like primarily like stop motion animation of Heroscape stuff. That's kind of all over my channel. So if you need some entertainment, like Heroscape type entertainment, that's out there. Literally hours worth. See here, you could sink some gray into the lines or recess and do some edge highlighting. That actually sounds like, or even like just a little bit of a gray dry brush, I think might help. Okay, I don't think there's much skin tone to the Iron Lich. I don't think his mouth requires much. Not really. I think it's just the one arm muscle, I think. Behind it. Now it's getting those cracks and crevices here. Okay, whoa, okay. Here we got some more. Justin, when asking the Game Store manager about brush and versus spray on primers, he responded with, it's a personal preference, but as I live in Wisconsin, thought the brush would be easier to store. This is interesting take on that. And just as it wouldn't be affected by the weather. Yeah, less gray, dry brush. Feels like it'd give a desiccated, dead vibe. Yeah, I think so. I think that's actually a good way to frame it. I think that's what I'll go with, because I just figured out the art of good dry brushing not too long ago, so I know how to do it now. And Derek said, I just have 19 paint jobs I've done. I discarded, and you have likely already seen them, but whatever. And Lauren says, yeah, I just think mostly an airbrush seems cool. The spray of it all means it can capture light source super dynamically. You can totally do Zenithal with brushes. Also, it's flooding outside right now, and I can't prime, and I'm devastated. Well, I'm sorry, Lauren. I hope you're okay. I hope, like, everybody's safe where you're at, because I know we've had, like here in Kentucky, some issues with flooding the past few months, some devastating issues with flooding. Thank goodness not in our area that I'm at, but definitely around. So I hope everybody's okay. And Derek says, I'll eventually do a paint video, but I'm waiting for the right figure. I'm sure I will know when I see it. It just has not happened yet. Well, Derek, you did do the, you know, the how you painted or did the did those miniatures that Renegade made up for the for that one scenario, which was kind of cool because it was kind of on my request. Okay, my goodness, there's the underside of this arm that it's hard to get to, but you gotta get to it. I'll figure out the best way to do this, because there's like something in the way at every turn. The rest guys were awesome. Oh yeah, for sure. That I still have to like double listen to that video because there's some things that aren't rusty that I need to really apply towards. Okay, that top shoulder also gets it. Okay. Yeah, one thing I know with painting is that sometimes it's like the layers. It's kind of like adding special effects to a video, which I do often. And it's all about layers. It's not what you put down first. It's about just adding on to it to eventually you get the look that you're looking for, and not oversaturate it with layers, but just do enough to give it the lifelike appearance of things. Let's see here. Derek says, thank you. That was labor of love for sure. Too bad they got smoked in their premiere Comic Clash video by the Ashikari Yari knows. Oh well, you know. It's a fun scenario, but yeah, that's something. Let's see, Lauren says, Derek, do you mostly do Renegade color palettes or do you overdo alternate palettes? The alternate stuff, that's actually quite fun. Alright, I think that's all I need to do for him. There wasn't really that much. I think it was just that arm. Let's see anything else? Is that like the strip of arm? That arm is mostly just metal. There's not much of an iron lift that's like skin anymore. Like maybe underneath there, kinda. Not really. No, not really. So yeah, I think the Iron Lich just has like one part of his arm, and that's he's machine now more than man, twisted and evil. And also, have you painted Iwashi, Akita, or Maladrix? If you're asking either me or Derek, well, I definitely have not. I've had Roguescaper do that for me. Justin says we got 2 inches of rain over the last 8 hours today. Oh my goodness. Tony says the red color that you gave that guy looks satisfying. The Iron Lich, yeah, I really like that. I'm gonna make that rusty too. I'm probably gonna do like some type of brown dry brush over this stuff to make these Isonex just look rusty. If they've been in space, I just kind of feel like they have a little bit of decay to them for that. And yes, this base is warped. I've tried to do hot water and it just hasn't worked, so it's just gonna be warped the rest of its life. Okay, I'm actually gonna apply, since I've got more of the skin tone paint, I'm gonna do a reapplication of this and use a tinier brush if I need to. And just see, I think that one looks fine for, because again, for this guy, I think it was just those arms. I don't think there's anything else that needs to be applied. And Derek says, Lauren, I do alternate palettes as well. Are you in Discord? I can show you. And EJ1M, Night Irene, Decker, Boa Breaker. Yeah, I think Lauren joined my Discord there, Derek. So, and Lauren, Derek is Vecna on Discord. Just so you know. But he's there. And Lauren says, yeah, I just saw the items you posted. Okay, everyone looks really clean. What's different about Decker? I thought there was something that I couldn't put my finger on it. And Derek says, I also not painted Washia, Akita, nor Queen Maladrex the Conqueror. Yeah. Okay, I just want to see. No, that. Okay, now it's just metal and stuff. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to just go back to these Wraith Riders and see what I can put here just to like cover up things that might need to be continually covered. Although there's still a lot of paint. You know what I'm going to do actually, guys? Here, I'm going to throw an audible. I'm going to show you guys what I can do as soon as I'm done touching up, because there's a little bit of touch-ups for these arms, so hold on. But I might break out some of my zombies and show you all how I paint zombies, because I can take this and actually make the skin a little bit grayer. And I think for that I just add a little bit of green for the zombies. And then put some zombies on, because I have like some 3D printed zombies that I can do, and then go from there. But some of these arms still need a little bit of a TLC here. Oh, what time is it? Okay, oh, it's 11 o'clock, so I do have to wrap up sometime. So here, I'm just going to do finishing touches on these, get a couple of zombies, and finish this paint, and then I think we are done for tonight, y'all. But it's still going to be a few minutes, so hold on to your hats for this thrilling bit of watching paint dry, quite literally. The backs of this, just like skin tone, just does such a good job with that. So nice. These guys are quite muscular. Muscular. Let's see. Yeah, Derek says the infamous Vecna indeed. Yes. I try to know my audience as much as possible. Lauren says, wow, I didn't even recognize Irene at first. The scar effect looks nice. It's cool. We got such a good community that like is very imaginative, especially with alt. I like alternate versions. Like there's a few people in the community that like do alternate sculpts of stuff, of like classic stuff, which is really cool. These pretty good though. I saw the chat jump, so that is there's this. It's not simply a stream; it's a quality company that makes the time well spent. For sure, yeah. No, I'm happy for you all here too, for y'all being here. Lawrence says, Tales of How, would you have any idea what would be good builds for a 575 point Delta Coalition Wars? I have a battle box and mostly Rise of the Valkyrie and might be picking up AOA Master Set soon. Is the best I got so far. What is, I know what Delta probably means Delta points. What's Coalition Wars? I'm not familiar with that off the bat. I might have heard it before, but I'm not sure that format. Master's Tides, Queen Maladrix. Yeah, Justin's also asking what's Coalition Wars. I'd have to look it up, and I don't have time, but I can definitely 105 points general, at least 3 different general. Okay, I think that's what I was talking about the other night. I couldn't tell you too much off the bat, and when it comes to competitive, I'm not the best person to give competitive advice because I'm a learner myself in that. I also think there's 150 points left over and you do 145 each. Okay. Well, I can say one thing. When it comes to the Airborne Elite competitively, they are like, as much as I love Airborne Elite because they're my guys, I animate with them, they're my main characters, but competitively they're kind of tough to pull off, and I've played with them competitively before myself in different scenario. It's just with the drop, they're just like, it's tough to get them on the battlefield, and when they do, you have to really make sure they hit hard. And here I'm just looking up. If you're gonna have Queen Maladrix, I recommend getting her Festering Honor Guard in there, like Maladrix, Festering Honor Guard with Thorgrim, and then kill off Thorgrim to give whatever boost Thorgrim has to Maladrix or her Festering Honor Guard. Is some great synergy. Oh yeah, you got Festering Honor Guard right there. Okay. So you basically have those that you can like use Master Tides, and then with the familiars is some good bonding. So that's pretty good. Yeah, RGC's right. Yeah, if you get them off at the right moment, it seems like it'd be sweet. Yeah, it can be, but with two defense dice, they're just tough to keep on the board. You're basically just making sure you get some good hits in before eventually you lose them. I mean, I'll just tell you, it's not something that Airborne Elite's not something that I probably put into a competitive build. That's just me. I was going to keep Thorgrim on Iwashia, but keeping Maladrix alive and Parasite Incursion does seem good, yes. And I mean, you can play everything that you put there, but here's how I would approach it. When you're approaching it, and it's also depending on what type of map you're playing on and who you're up against. And what you're going to be fighting against. Sometimes it might be a good idea to start zone position, because you got to think of the army in like this category. At least this as far as my experience. And someone could say, Ryan, you're wrong about this, and that's fine. But this is just what my limited experience has shown. If it would be good to put your order markers on and use first either the Maladrix Festering Honor Guard combo And you can use Thorgrim for either the Awashia or the Maldrix. It doesn't matter. But make sure you use first in your game either the Maldrix Festering Onagard combo or the Awashia combo. Don't use both at the same time. Otherwise, it's going to be tough to move out both. They have good bonding synergies for the both of them, and so it just depends on who you're up against, who you think can take on whatever you're facing up against first, and then stick with that. And then once that side of your army gets taken out, then you can bring out the other side and do it. If you're mixing order markers, because I've done it before, I've made those mistakes. It's tougher to win. It's best just to stick to a squad or a unit that bonds or synergizes well, and then just leave the rest to follow up if there's anything else that needs to be defeated. So that'll give you an edge. No matter what, that's what you would go with. Now, Rise of the Valkyrie, Mara Warriors are great because you can. I just skirmished this actually last night to where I had like a Maro build and a Vidar build. Classic. None of them synergized, but I basically had Mara Warriors, and it was basically a Mara army versus Krav Maga agents, and Krav Maga agents might be one that might be interesting to put in too, because I had Krav face up against the Mara Warriors and 3 Hive Lords basically, and Krav Maga took them all out. Just all of them. I mean, they got some lucky rolls, and I had no glyphs to boost anything, so it was some opportunity stuff, but opportunistic timing, and Krav took out the Mara Warriors twice because I actually had time for the Mara Warriors to do water cloning and regenerate the squad, but they ended up just getting taken out quickly by Krav Maga, and the Krav Maga was able to take out the Mara heroes before they could do anything to them. So I guess I'll say, I said I'll have to say this. Krav Maga is actually a good option too if you got Rise of the Valkyrie stuff as well. Just saying. Krav Maga on their own can do really well because you'd have to get really, but if you're up against a heavy melee army, Krav might not be a good one to start out first. I think Maladrix is good to go up against a melee army. And anyway, I'm pontificating. I'm not even reading anything. This is what happens when I talk. I can't read. Let me see what Lauren's saying here. Could also do Mara Warriors. It just feels like only hitting for 2 is yikes. So it just depends on how you position them. If you give them height, but that water clone is very effective because they can stick around a battlefield. And then you just leave one in the back, especially if you've got like a water space like in your start zone. You just leave one of your Mara Warriors back there. You can send 3 Mara Warriors out, and if they get eradicated, then you could spend some time just regenerating, and there you have another squad, another 3 to send out sometimes. So that's the benefit of the Mara Warriors. I was going to keep Thorgrim on Awashia and keep him alive for Parasite Recursion. Does seem good. Yeah, I mean, for Thorgrim, I recommend all Thorgrim is a way to boost the stats of your army. That goes for any of the Viking heroes. And so just find the best way you can boost your stats of your hero or unit, depending on what's unique out there. And just get Thorgrim dead as quickly as possible, or Thorgrim dead as quickly as possible. Maybe you can do some damages before he gets taken out. That really helped boost your stats. I watched some of the tier list of Rise of the Valkyrie that ranked Airborne Elite and Mara Warriors highly, and I just believed it at face value because I'm a noob. No, it's fine. No, like I said, I love the Airborne Elite. Lauren, if you watch my Tales of Valhalla stop motion animated series, Airborne Elite are the main protagonists of that seasonal story arc series I have. So I give them a lot of credence and a lot of love, but competitively, they're just usually not chosen for some very good reasons. Laura says, yeah, starting engagements and setting up seems tricky to me. Last week I did 2 Mal 1 Washia, and to pull squads in with Mal, then air effect on them at range with the Washia. Okay. Lauren says, oh, look, my air conditioning finally got off. Am I right in thinking that whoever goes second generally gets to hit first? When you're talking about order markers, I guess it just depends on what units are playing. Usually if you're like rolling for initiative and the other person goes first, usually if and they go first, it's usual that you're going second. Sometimes you're going to be hitting them first. Yeah, Primscapes, yeah, you can never go wrong with Krav. Yeah, Krav are like, I think Krav are very underrated to some people who are new coming in. Krav are worth their weight in their points. Laura says Krav will be good, but I couldn't find any Vider units that defend Awashi. Okay, that makes sense. Derek says Krav Maga Agent and Mara Warriors are some of the best units in that box. Absolutely. Mara Warriors seem weak, but if they start to clone, they are hard to kill. Yes, they do. You just got to play them well. Laura says Water Clone synergizes with Awashi exactly because she can drop 3 exactly or 2.5 warriors. Yep. You just got to play it well. Yep. Laura says the thing about using Thor to boost Mal's defense is have to move and take up an order marker with Awashia. I could just plop them both together and sit there. Thor and Frostclaw bears would be good though. That's another thing, yeah. Krav, not Krav. Krav is Sierra, yeah, it is. Derek says charging thorium in battle ups the chance of him dying, yes, but it is kind of a goal. You want him to gum up advancing armies and helping protect your squad. You just got to find a way to have him die sometime, yeah. And again, it also depends on what army you're going up against. Sometimes you want him dead right away because you want that stat buff. But yeah, it just depends on who you're playing against too and how you're playing. Derek says leaving him behind just means your opponent can deal with them when they're ready rather than when you're ready. Exactly. You definitely, like any Viking hero, you do not want to leave behind. You want to get him out there. So even if you're spending an order mark or 2 to do that, it's best recommendation to definitely do that. Okay. Yeah. Wow, this is actually a good conversation, guys. You got me thinking. So this Sunday, I will be doing skirmishes. So if you all want to pop in for that, while I'm learning, because I'll be like skirmishing some possible builds for a Gen Con, for the Gen Con Championship. Okay, let me get out some zombies. I'm gonna get me out some zombies and paint some zombies. Lauren says, oh my god, pop a parasite into Thor and get him to die and bring back a parasite at the same time. Actually, yes, you can do that too. That is actually another option too. You can just have Maldrix just kill him. And because who say you can't? You absolutely can. That is an absolute thing that you can absolutely do with that. No doubt. Okay. I'm looking for some green, guys. I'm looking for some green. I'm gonna mix some green to the skin tone. Here we are. Because we're gonna do some zombies now, guys. We're gonna do some zombies before I close out for tonight. Here. I don't know. This might be too much, but you know what? It ain't easy being green. But yes, this Sunday night, and I usually stream like around 9:30 Eastern every Sunday and every Wednesday. But this Sunday, I'll try to get like a skirmish or 2 in. I already have a battle map out here. Actually, let's see. I have a map that's going to be used at Gen Con right there. And so I already have that set up to go. for Sunday, and we'll do some skirmish testing of that in here. Okay, I'm gonna have to go here to paint these zombies. Okay, let's mix up this because you can't let paint go to waste, you know. So here we go. And so we can talk a bit about, you know, that type of team building and stuff then as well. Here, I don't need this small brush, so I'm just gonna pop it in the water and go back to using a big brush here. Oops. I'm gonna put some paint water. Oh, by the way, never drink the paint water. This is why I have my drink down here. Let's see here. Lauren says, one time someone used a washi against me. I had like 6 defense because height plus water, and I couldn't get hit. And oh yeah. So my thought is if I could get 7. And hey guys, it's funny for a lazy Wednesday evening, got 100 messages in the chat tonight. Thank you guys so much. That's great. That's great. And this is kind of just a, you know, lazy Sunday. Yeah, Heroscape does so that it only takes just one, right? If you whiff a defense roll, then I mean you gotta hope for that, but at the same time, hope can be going for a long time and then the game is ended. So there's that. Actually, okay, this zombie has had its brown. Okay, this is probably too green, but it's okay. Like, these zombies, I'm not being too picky about how I paint them. They're mostly just probably going to be background extras for like season 4 and season 5. So okay. Good, and this zombie is very, very. I'm gonna have to. Like some of these zombies, 3D printing came out quite grotesque, so I'm gonna have to do some interesting paints for them as well. But right now, I want to use up this paint, and then I want to go to bed. Let's see here. Derek said you do a little bit of your base flush with a tiny amount of blue and green and pour it around. Mimics the effect blood has under real skin. Probably add a little bit of blue to it. But right now I'm just trying to use up what I got. So no big deal. No big deal. I'm just throwing some paint on these guys, and then I'll worry about finer tones and stuff later. See, this is where I'm getting paint on my fingers now. There. And these 3D prints actually come courtesy of Roguescaper himself, because he sent me a bunch of stuff, then he just sent me like 3D prints of stuff as if to say, hey, you paint these. I'm like, okay. And I think Roguescaper sent me these like a year and a half ago. So it's like, this is how much time I have to paint, as others have already mentioned in the chat. So yeah, not going to be able to get to Omnicron tonight for sure. But I just want to finish this, and then we will call it a night, which has been a very, very interesting conversation, actually. So y'all are awesome. but they're still, my goodness, I actually made a lot of paint. I made a little too much. But it's alright. And actually, sometimes you find, okay, if something's too bright in your paint or something, you feel like, oh, that just looks so off. A lot of the times, you add like the wash to it, and it just seems to make everything just so much better. Let's see here. Very small amount, so you don't want red or blue spots all over. It just changes the shade of your flesh tone for undead purples, yellows. Works well, okay. Lauren says, I'm so sleepy but I gotta at least start my laundry. Lauren, I already did my laundry. My laundry has been done since early today. Well, I took my son out to the splash pad today. Well, my wife came along too. And the like city water in that splash pad just feels kind of ugh. So I always like to wash everything that was like, we have clothes or towels or anything that was sprayed on, just like to wash it. So, and then there was other like little bits of laundry that were in the hamper that I did. So yeah, I already did that. Otherwise this would be like me doing a laundry stream. But yeah, if you're tired, by all means, I'm about to shut down soon, so I do hope I see you all this Sunday if you want to see what armies I plan to possibly use for Gen Con coming up in a month or so. Actually, a little over a month when I think about it. I'm pretty sure I know what I'm going to use for the championship, but I still have to like test these armies out against armies that I think are probably going to be meta builds. Let's see here. This is where I worked out in my last set of clean clothes earlier, and I kind of have to do it late tonight. Should probably go for a walk first too. Well, again, I hope everybody's safe in your area if there's flooding or whatever. And stay safe, stay good, and hopefully we'll see you around. Nice to have you hop in here, and I hope your escape learning goes well, and just keep on learning and have fun. Community's usually pretty good about when new competitors hop in. I know they were with me, so just keep on having fun, and hope it's a good muse for you to just, you know, do something and meet people. Derek says, good night, Derek. Glad to have you in the chat there tonight. I hope all goes well with you. Keep up the good work, and we'll see you around. Okay, this paint's almost gone. We'll probably do another zombie or two, and then I will also be shutting down as well. Laura says, yeah, talk to you. Nice talking to you. Thank you for the advice and info. Oh, no problem, no problem. Again, most of that is just like, you know, definitely test and get advice from others too, because I'm practically as new as you when it comes to competitive play. So definitely get other advices from other people. But you take care, and hopefully see you around. Okay, y'all. That is that. See, now my hands are green. All right. So let's shut off for tonight, shall we? Shall we? It's 11:30. My goodness, that's way longer than I thought this stream was going to be, but you know, y'all good? Y'all good? We will. I let everything dry, and then maybe next Wednesday do it again. We'll see. We'll see where we're at. I know there's other things that are probably going to pop up, but we'll try to do paint and streams more in the future if it gets gets popular. It's just fun to chat with y'all too. Alright, so with that, I do, and air conditioning's going again. Thank you all for watching. Again, this Sunday, we'll do a couple skirmishes, see how that goes. Hope to see y'all there. Again, all of you who hopped in the chat, making this stream an 100+ message chat stream tonight. Thank you all. You have a purpose in your life. Find it, pursue it, live it, and we'll see all of you next time. Later now. Bye-bye.